You've seen it happen. The woman who says she wants a strong man, but ends up in bed with one she doesn't respect. The man who gives her the world, only to be ghosted by morning. Why? Why do women despise weak men, but still let them into their beds? Let's walk into the shadows, where psychology meets instinct, and desire becomes its own betrayal. Women say they want kindness, emotional support, a man who listens. But desire isn't democratic. It doesn't follow virtue. Desire is ancient, buried in the marrow, and sometimes it reaches for what it resents. You see, a woman's words reflect her values, but her body responds to her instincts. Instincts carved over a million winters, not by modern tweets, but by survival. In those instincts, weakness is a signal, a threat, not to her safety, but to her future. Weakness isn't about muscle. It's not your bank account, not how many books you've read. Weakness is energetic. It's a man who seeks permission to exist, who asks her what to do instead of deciding with spine and vision. It's the man who's more afraid of losing her than losing his mission. To a woman, weakness is a man orbiting her, not leading her, not challenging her, just orbiting, waiting for scraps of affection like a dog beneath the table. She may give him the body, but never the soul. She may let him touch her, but never penetrate her depth, because he has none. Here's the brutal paradox: women can feel attraction without respect. They can feel arousal without admiration. It's uncomfortable. It's confusing, even for them. But biology doesn't ask for coherence, only propagation. The weak man, the overly nice one, the one who pedestalizes her without boundaries, he triggers a mothering instinct. She might let him in, but it's not submission, it's pity. She opens the gate, not because he's earned it, but because she wants to feel something, even if it's disgust. So why does she sleep with a man she despises? Because women are emotional creatures. They chase chaos to feel alive. They test waters to find the edge. Sometimes she's bored. Sometimes she's lost. Sometimes she's drunk on her own power and wants to feel what it's like to control a man like a puppet, to feel like a goddess by seducing the loyal dog. The weak man, he gives her something the strong man won't: total dominance. And for a night that tastes good, but afterward the disgust creeps in. Because she didn't admire him, she used him. And the feminine despises what it uses, because it reminds her she's alone at the top. Understand this: the feminine body reacts in the moment, but the feminine soul remembers in regret. She might arch her back for him at midnight, but feel sick by morning. Why? Because her body wanted chaos, but her soul craved order. She wanted surrender, but he had nothing to surrender to. He didn't take her. He waited. He didn't lead her. He begged. He didn't pull her deeper. He asked for her permission. And nothing drives a woman faster than a man seeking approval. The nice guy thinks he's safe. He thinks his kindness earns him love. But he misunderstands polarity. Women don't want safe men. They want trusted danger. Masculinity is not passive. It's assertive, commanding, not cruel, but clear. The nice guy is a salesman selling worth, instead of radiating it. And when she senses the pitch, she knows he doesn't believe in himself. If he doesn't believe in himself, why should she? But here's the twist: she might leave him, block him, mock him. Yet sometimes she comes back. Why? Because contempt is addictive. Because the weak man is a mirror of her shadow. He reflects her unresolved pain, her desire for control, her fear of vulnerability. And just like he's addicted to her validation, she becomes addicted to his submission. Two wounded energies looping, hurting, touching, but never loving. And what happens to the weak man? He becomes hollow, because he confuses access for affection, sex for success, attention for love. He thinks, if she slept with me, I must matter. But he doesn't. He was a moment of escape, a dopamine distraction. She won't text back. She won't invest. Because the man she wants isn't impressed by her beauty alone. He's on mission. And she wants to join his orbit, not become the center of it. The man she dreams of isn't always the man she sleeps with. He's the one who leads without apology, who speaks with depth, not need, who loves her fiercely, but never fears her departure. He commands space not with violence, but with unwavering presence. He doesn't chase. He magnetizes. He doesn't ask to be chosen. He's the choice. That man awakens her femininity, not by pleasing it, but by challenging it. And only when she surrenders to his gravity does she feel safe to be soft. So if you're a man tired of being used, tired of being the nice guy who finishes last, then hear this. Stop trying to be chosen and start becoming undeniable. Build your frame. Speak with purpose. Set boundaries like stone. And when you meet a woman, don't seek approval, test for respect. If she gives you her body but not her reverence walk, you weren't made to orbit her. You were made to build a kingdom. So rise. From weakness to power, from begging to becoming. Don't resent her for not loving your weakness. Thank her for awakening your strength. Because only through the fire do you forge the throne. And only from the throne will she kneel in love. Now let's discuss the female ego and the power dynamic. Behind every seduction lurks a dance of egos. The man wants to prove he's worthy. The woman wants to prove she's worshipped. But here's the tragedy: when he surrenders his spine to please her, she becomes the god. And the feminine does not want to be worshipped. She wants to be led. A man who hands over his power for approval, for validation, for intimacy, has already lost her. Because the feminine ego wants to be claimed, not coddled. She wants to feel his power, not possess it. When she rules him, she loses her respect. And without respect, even sex becomes a mockery. Sometimes it's not lust that draws them together, it's wounds unspoken, unhealed, unseen. The weak man who was never chosen, and the woman who was never protected. They meet in pain, not passion. He wants to be mothered. She wants to punish her absent father. And in this cycle of mutual starvation, they feed each other poison. It feels like love, because it hurts, but it's not love, it's trauma, echoing through flesh. And neither of them knows how to break the mirror. From childhood, men are taught to be good, to obey, to apologize, to dim their fire for approval. But society lied. Be sensitive, they said. She'll love you for it. But women don't love men who break for them. They test them relentlessly. And when he folds, when he sacrifices his purpose for her comfort, she dries, because the feminine longs for strength, not softness without spine. Nice is not noble. Nice is neutral. Nice is forgettable. What she truly desires is a man who can hold her storms without drowning in them. In myth, she appears again and again: Lilith, Kali, the siren, the femme fatale, beautiful, desirable, deadly. She tests the man, not to destroy him, but to see if he can't be destroyed. And the weak man, he falls because he seeks pleasure over principle. He chases beauty instead of embodying truth. And she devours him, not out of cruelty, but because he could not contain her. A woman without a man strong enough to ground her becomes chaos. And a man without spine becomes sacrifice. There comes a moment when a man must choose to remain the beggar or become the king. It begins when he stops chasing the feminine and starts mastering the masculine. It begins when he stops asking, "Does she like me?" and starts asking, "Do I respect myself?" True kings don't seduce with words, they seduce with energy. They lead not by command, but by clarity. Moral of the story: if you want to have a woman in the palm of your hands, you need to embody true masculinity. Any other dynamic is from a place of trauma disguised as healthy. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to join our family.